Good morning, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talks Sunday stream of consciousness. How's everybody doing today? It's great to have you with us on this gray Sunday here in the Northeast. Good to have everybody with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the groups that allow us to share. We thank you when you do finally see this later on. If you don't see us live, you see some of our favorite groups scrolling at the bottom. Still haven't gotten around to making a new scroll with some new groups that we'd like to shout out. But for now, Sports Authorities, John Gonzalez over there, the #1 admin in social media. Great job by him. Followed closely by Greg Rawlings over at America's Pastime, the Love for Baseball. Flo and Ken at Bottom Line Sports. They have a great podcast that they do, and we try to share it when we're on top of it. Let's Talk Sports, the crew over there. Ken Krause at Golf Bud Sports of all sorts. Taylor over at the Michigan Sports, Michigan Truth. What is it? Michigan Sports Truth podcast. That's a mouthful for me. Sorry, Taylor. Good to have you with us. As always, he always loves us to share, and we like to share Taylor's podcast as well. And of course, Ralph Williams over at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff over in Ocean City, Maryland. He's got a Pittsburgh-focused national footprint, specifically the Sports Corner from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday with Smoking Jim Frazier. Been a guest there and always enjoy myself. Lots to talk about today, guys. The trade deadline is coming upon us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Oh, quick program alert. 2 quick program alerts before we talk about this. Since we're talking about tomorrow, Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook will not air tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. We'll be live Tuesday. I have a doctor's appointment that somehow I've scheduled for Monday instead of Tuesday. But this way we'll be able to talk about the end of the trade deadline, which ends at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I'll mention again later, we'll be back Wednesday live with this college football huddle and get caught up on everything in the world of college football in college sports. But the trade deadline is tomorrow in Major League Baseball. We had a big trade last night, a couple of smaller trades. But Tariq Skubal is traded from the Tigers, no surprise, to the Dodgers. Who he could probably take a slow train to L.A. because they don't need him until October. But Tariq Skubal will be a Dodger for at least the next couple of months. We'll see what happens to him afterwards, but he's traded for 3 of the Dodgers' top prospects. Listen, kudos to the Dodgers. You can think they're bad for baseball, but they're always in it to win it. Some of these teams shouldn't be in it to win it, and too many teams often are not in it to win it ever. But the Dodgers are always in it to win it. They haven't had great seasons out of a lot of their stars, Kyle Tucker specifically. They've had injuries to Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow, and they're still... Well, I just lost the best record, but they've had the best record in baseball for much of the season. And now they add the best pitcher in baseball, or one of them. So great. And their prospects, their organization seems to be endless in these top prospects. Great job. Also, Luis Castillo traded to the White Sox from the Mariners. Lane Thomas goes from Kansas City to Atlanta, who's had a history of bringing in these type of platoon players and getting the best out of them for a couple of months. So we'll see how that works out. The Yanks give up on Duvall, who they brought in a year ago at the trade deadline. He goes to Pittsburgh. Yanks aren't done, but we'll talk about some of the guys and some of the moves that might still come. What else? And again, I don't know how the labor issues are going to play into this whole trade deadline. The Astros are surging and become buyers. The Twins are surging and become buyers. The Phillies' woes, what are they going to do to correct their downfall? This is a flawed team. They had a good run. Don Mattingly did a great job when he came in there. They had a great run to pull within like 3 games of the Braves, I think. Now they've fallen back again. I think 8 behind. 2-8 in their last 10. Listen, this team is not that good. After the first 3 starters, they're horrendous. They've got about 4 guys above Major League Baseball average in their lineup. They need to make some moves. The NFL, and again, this is your show. We'll talk about whatever you like. Pearsall out again for the 49ers, out for the year. They re-signed Debo Samuel. Has he got anything left? He knows the system, but I don't. Listen, Kittle still banged up. The pup's not that important here in 1st of August, but 49ers did it with smoke and mirrors last year because of injuries. We'll see if they can do it again. Plus, they've got the Kyle Shanahan thing. Listen, I was the first guy, maybe the only guy, when this news came out about Kyle Shanahan, I said, why didn't we hear about this for 10 days? There's something going on here, and I don't know if this whole story's out. First, the team let it be said that the kid that he hit head on was at fault for the accident. Nobody spoke up until somebody looked a little further, and Shanahan had to come clean and said, no, I was at fault. I dropped my cell phone, was reaching for it. I don't know if there's more here or not. I don't know. We got CBS has got huge problems now with the Tony Romo mess. Are they going to have to pay him $72 million, or can they get out from under it? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Tony Romo does another game as a number one analyst for CBS. Maybe not another game at all. And I'm beginning to worry, and you'll hear me make light of this a little bit, but underneath all the making light of Tony Romo and him, doing exercises, stretching, stretching before he does his field sobriety test. Obviously looking disheveled and under the weather. I'll make light of it, but I want to also say there could be serious problems here with Tony Romo. He had 2 open containers in his car. On a sadder note in the NFL, Amon Green has announced that he has Parkinson's. And likely attributes it to, his days in the NFL. A lot of NFL players with Parkinson's, with ALS. There's a lot of issues. And again, it's a dangerous game, and these guys know what they sign up for. But Billy Ray Smith also passed away this week. Had suffered, young guy, he's only early 60s, I think. Had been suffering with dementia for years. So kind of a sad day there too. And we can talk about other training camp stuff if you want. We're getting close to football. WNBA. I should have led with this. Sophie Cunningham's my new favorite sports personality in the world. She comes out and says something that only is logic, that trans women who were born as males, should not compete in the WNBA or in women's sports. It's only logical, sorry. But now she's being booed in other arenas. We've got coaches saying stupid stuff. Her own coach said she's not a biologist. I'm not a biologist either. I don't need to know that men shouldn't be competing with women. 2 young girls. And again, all these people who support, and she didn't say come out against trans people. I'm not against trans people. I don't understand it, but I'm not against it. Do what you want, as long as it doesn't affect me and men. But that's different. If you say men shouldn't compete against women, you are not necessarily against trans people. But we're all, inhuman. A couple other coaches that spoke up. The Lynx coach spoke up and said, what'd she say? Oh, God, I wrote it down here. I don't know, something about I support all of humanity. Well, what has that got to do with men playing in the WNBA? The Storm's minority owner suspended 5 games. Nobody's apologized to these 2 16-year-old girls who came out wearing T-shirts or had signs that were supporting Sophie Cunningham at what she said. They're told that I hope Jesus forgives you. Well, how is this such a hot button? And again, you're going to say this is political, and we've lost, I don't know, dozens of viewers, and I'm okay with it over some of the things I've had to say, and I'm sorry. But this is about logic, man. People are entitled to do and say whatever they want, within reason. I mean, if you're a guy who wants to be a woman, well, God bless you. but you shouldn't be able to play in the WNBA or compete against, if you're a tennis player, compete. Well, we had this years ago with Renee Richards, right? Women fought for decades for Title IX. And I know that the words are going to get twisted. It didn't say just women, that all sexes. Oh, come on. Sophie Cunningham is my new favorite. And this woman says to two 16-year-old girls, again, the people who support are going to die on that hill and say, well, trans women should be able to compete in men's sports in high school, in college, now the pros. Well, yeah, they should be able to do that. And they profess to be, all for children's rights and protect the children. But when a minority owner of the Storm goes up to two 16-year-old girls and says, I hope Jesus forgives you, nobody from the Storm and nobody from the WNBA has apologized to these two girls. Ridiculous. We'll talk more about that if you want. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. It's a hot button topic. I'm not afraid of the topics. And you want to disagree with me? That's fine. That's your right. Most of the people that disagree with me on these types of things have stopped watching the show anyway. I'm never going to apologize for what I say. If people are offended, again, this whole thing, people being offended, if you're offended by something I say, you better kind of look in the mirror and readjust your life. Because if I've offended you somehow, I don't get it. And of course, in college football, Bill Belichick has put himself, and we'll be back on Wednesday with the college football huddle, by the way. Bill Belichick's put himself on the hottest of hot seats in college football, I think. The Mike Lombardi situation, both in-house and with the whatever rules committee in college football, the new one that's supposed to police NIL transactions, is looking into some of Carolina's moves last year. If they broke NIL rules and put that bad team together, they should get fired today. I'm going to tell you, Bill Belichick's going to get fired after this year, or they're going to part ways. It'll cost about $60 million for North Carolina to do it between his contract and assistant coaches, but he's not going to win 3 games this year. They got a tough schedule. He's not going to win 4 games. He might win 3. We can talk about any of that. None of that. I don't care. Who's here with us? Go Sophie Cunningham. I love the videos I'm seeing of Sophie Cunningham now. My new favorite sports figure right now. We got a lot of comments I haven't even got to yet. I apologize, guys. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, CA. Good to have you with us. DDH. I don't know. I'm not good with acronyms, dude. Pesky, good morning to all. Yes, you are, Pesky, Danny. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing okay, Danny. I understand you had a couple of issues again and found yourself in the hospital. I hope you're feeling better. I'm going by your good buddy Paul, so hopefully that I'm not speaking out of turn, but we like to wish our loyal followers and our people we consider friends the best. So hopefully you're feeling better. Patrick Wisdom is having the time of Chris. Good morning, buddy. Is having the time of his life in Tacoma. Get this: 28 home runs in 54 games. Everybody hits home runs in the Pacific Coast League. That's been a truth for like decades. Since I was a kid, guys were tearing up the Pacific Coast League. But Patrick Wisdom, I don't know, who is he still in the Cubs system or is he somewhere else? CA Live, TJ Sports Talk Fantasy Football League Draft is Monday, September 7th at 6 p.m. Central Time. One spot open. And hopefully we've confirmed with the guys that are in there. I think I'm in there. So I think you got to come back, right? And once you click on the link here, you've confirmed that you're going to stay in. Alan, good morning, buddy. What smells fishy, Alan? If you look at their staff right now, and again, their staff now might look a lot different than it looks today in the playoffs because they've got Glasnow and Snell potentially coming back. But again, what I don't get the smelly part. Do they really need him? Is a good question. The Dodgers go for it every year. They try to win. They don't take half measures. They go all in. A lot of these teams are going to fool themselves into thinking they're World Series contenders. And I'm going to tell you, unfortunately, Alan, don't get mad at me. And I feel like I pick on you a lot, and I apologize, but I don't really. It just happens you root for teams I don't believe in. The Rangers aren't contenders. I mean, again, in the American League, I guess any of these teams, and when I say contenders, yeah, you could win the division. Yes, you could win a wild card. When I say contenders, are you a contender to get to the World Series? Could you get hot? Yeah, but this isn't the Texas Ranger team from 3 or 4 years ago when you won a World Series. But I guess that team is an example of teams that could get hot. If you're in the National League, I would tell you you're nuts for going all in. And the Rangers haven't yet. Small trade with the Angels to improve that bullpen and the catching a little bit. At least make them deeper, if not better. But what's wrong? Again, this team is deep. They give up prospects every year. They don't. Again, prospects are prospects for a reason. I don't have a problem with teams that are playing to win and have a chance to win. Now, if you're just kind of tilting at windmills and have really no chance, like again, I think the Twins are foolish to be doing what they're doing. If they're going to give up real prospects, they're probably crazy. They probably should trade Jeffers because he's going to be a free agent. And they probably won't pay him. But they're not getting to the World Series. They're not better than the Rays or better than the Yankees. And if they get to the playoffs, they're going to lose in the first round. That's what they do. The Rangers, maybe if on the Rangers that make a run, I don't know. They've got some talent. They got a lot of underperformers. It's a very streaky team. They could get hot in October. But again, trying to stick to the Dodgers, they give up prospects for everybody. And they keep giving up more prospects because they're the deepest organization in baseball. And nobody's going to tell me they're bad for baseball. All sports are better with villains and teams we hate. Parity sucks. This trade deadline is been as slow as it's been. Again, we've only had really 3 major trades, 4, well, maybe 4. Because of parity, because these teams think they're in. There's only 6 teams that are out. Not eliminated, but they're likely out. 6 teams can't feed 24 others. Spot on. Romo's in trouble, I'm telling you. He's got a very uphill battle to get it. This whole thing, this video, when you watch all of it, he looks horrible. And listen, I hope Tony Romo, the person, if he's got a problem, he gets help. And I'm not doubting. By the way, the golf tournament he played in, I thought he was a really good golfer. He shot 35 over par. That's what I read. Teams with the biggest stars need chemistry. A few years back, we thought the Padres would be an unstoppable juggernaut. Chemistry is so often underrated. I have these arguments with Jack Hirsch all the time. You know why the Knicks won the NBA championship this year? Chemistry. You know why the Knicks still, I think, are better than the 76ers? Chemistry. It matters in all sports. If you got 24 guys getting in 24 cabs, that's not a good thing. Totally. Hello, Lori. How are you, Grace? What do you agree with me on? I talked about so much already. Sophie Cunningham, probably. Sophie Cunningham. I love Sophie Cunningham. I got to tell you something. She's Danny's new favorite as well. I have no problem with saying it. It's not a political issue, and it's getting made one. She said nothing except use common sense. She even said the words common sense. Why is common sense so uncommon? Sorry, Mark Twain, to badly paraphrase you. This is not a hard issue. And you are not, homophobic or against trans people or racist when you come out for some of these things that are just lacking 100% in common sense. It's all on men's sports playing men and women's sports playing women. That's that simple. And how are so many women, younger women mostly, not older women, how are they in favor of this and saying it's against their human rights? That's what one of the coaches implied, that they're all for human rights. How is their human rights being infringed on by not being able to play in a women's basketball league? You're going to feel different when it's your daughter, my granddaughter, playing against men, biological men. This isn't it's become a political football. It shouldn't be any kind of issue because it's common sense. There's a lot of school districts here in New York, they're having this conversation. Are you kidding me? How is it even a conversation? And women fought for decades for Title IX to be put on equal footing with men, but now we're going to let men play against women. What? Connor Perry's been putting up double-digit goal totals, playing four line in minutes. He's knocking on the door for 500 goals. Go Connor Perry. I'm not sure if he'll get fired during the season, Danny, but he's gonna. I think this is it, and he's not going to coach in the NFL again. If he just was patient and didn't stupidly take this North Carolina job, this was doomed to fail from the beginning. If he hadn't taken his job, he might have gotten another shot. But this was doomed from the beginning. Between the Jennifer Hudson nonsense, taking over just an abysmal program, and tearing it down and not knowing what you're doing on the college level, trying to instill a professional a template, if you will, or boilerplate for a college program. I think it's the ultimate irony if they violated NIL restrictions and brought in some of the horrible players they had playing on that team last year. They were 4-8 last year. They're not. If they go 4-8 this year, it will be very good. By the way, I went through this before, and I'll talk more about it. I won't get into it a lot right now. But they're not winning 4 games. You tell me where North Carolina's winning 4 games. I'll give you the teams they're playing. Yeah. And maybe they'll be better with the moves they made this offseason. I don't know. They got TCU in Ireland. They lose. They'll beat Eastern Tennessee. They're going to lose at Clemson. They're going to lose at Notre Dame. They're going to lose at Pitt. They're going to lose at Duke. They got Syracuse at home. All right, I'll give you Syracuse. They're going to lose to Miami. I'll give you UConn. They're going to lose to Louisville. They're going to lose to Virginia. They're going to lose to Virginia State. That's 8 losses again. Fired. Danny had a little touch of pneumonia in both lungs. Got home yesterday and enjoying the shows today. Good to have you here. And you know we're always thinking about you, Danny, and any of our followers who are under the weather. Danny says, absolutely, the pesky Dodgers needed Scooble, and they gave it, and what they gave up, it's just fine. Their minor league prospects are still in. Again, they seem to have an endless. We talk about what they do on the major league level. They seem to have an endless supply of prospects to give up for guys like Scooble. And Dave Roberts has done a tremendous job with this team. Again, managing the team that everybody expects to win, it's not the easiest job in baseball. He's not going to win Manager of the Year because he's expected to win. But this team has had injury after injury on the pitching staff. Tucker has not played. I know you defended him here 6 weeks or so ago, Danny. I doubt you're just defending him now. This guy has not had a good season. Now, if they win and he contributes, all be forgiven. But Freeman's still a great player. Hasn't played to his norms as he gets older. Muncy was hurt a lot. Betts was hurt a lot. Betts still not playing his best position. So Dave Roberts has done a tremendous job with his team. To have, again, the best record in baseball most of the time. Auto renew by Yahoo, except for one who made 2 or 3 lineup moves. Okay. Oh, Michael Gott is back in from across the pond. Although Michael might have been the guy who made a couple moves. I don't know if Michael's with us today or not. It's got to be tough to be a Reds fan. I agree. This team has had some of the best young talent in baseball come up over the last 2-3 years. And I said they were going to finish last, and Jack laughed at me. There's something missing. Terry Francona is done after this year. I can't see Terry Francona continue to put himself through this nonsense. And now, Hunter Green may get traded. Dela Cruz may get traded. Along with some other guys. Spencer Steer's on the block. It's funny, we've only got, I don't know, is there any other trades since I started here? Hold on. I should probably check this out. No more. We only got a day and a half. Well, I guess 2 full days. What am I talking about? For trades to get made. 6 o'clock tomorrow is the deadline. The Mets are going to unload still a bunch of guys. I would expect the Reds to unload a bunch of guys. But you only got 6 teams to sell. Right? Who's selling? 100% selling. Some teams are selling, like Yankees, addition by subtraction, getting rid of Duvall yesterday. You got the Royals, you got the A's, you got the Angels, you got the Giants, Mets, and Rockies. Even the Reds probably could make a case for not selling off everybody, but sell. You're in the National League, by the way, and if you're the Reds, the Cardinals, the Nationals, the Pirates, the Marlins, of course, the Padres, even the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, you're not beating the Dodgers, the Brewers, or the Braves. Just not going to happen. Chemistry wasn't taught in Jack's Sports 101 class. Good morning, Rick. Hello, Paul Spada. How are you? Good to have you with us out there in Wisconsin. Boston Paul. Chemistry matters. We overlook these things so much in sports. We've seen teams put together forever. The Yankees, after 78, 79, 80, even 81, where they went to a World Series. In 80, they had a good team, but they lost to the Royals in the playoffs. But once you get past 81, we'll give them 81. They kept bringing in star after star after star, and they were horrible for many of those years. Yeah, a couple of years they pushed the Blue Jays in the mid-'80s, late '80s. In the '90s, awful, because they kept chasing stars and not putting any chemistry on the field. And that's not the only team. The Brooklyn Nets from a few years ago. Tons of teams. You need chemistry. Genie, who? You mean Petrali? Made the league minimum $100,000. He worked as a plumber in the offseason. He was a walking Super Mario. I think you left the R out. Am I right, Chris? Ryan always hurt. Ryan who? Who are we talking about? Oh, the prospect giving up for Skubal. Again, kids get hurt, and they also get babied. I don't know what his injury history's been, what those injuries have been. Is that what we're talking about? Ryan Rivers? Isn't he one of the guys traded for Skubal? River Ryan, sorry. Again, we won't know forever. we won't know forever whether the Tigers did well in this trade or not. Because they're going to be years before we know about these players. A lot of these guys, again, go back in the history of these trades, and a lot of these prospects never turn out to be anything. I get on Brian Cashman for a lot of things. Well, I'll tell you what he hasn't done. Even in the trade with the Rangers for that human fan, Joey Gallo, he didn't give up anything. You know, the best major league player, the best prospect he ever gave up was Mark Melancon. Or is that, I think that's how you say his name. Relief pitcher. Really nobody else of consequences he traded over the last 2 decades of making deadline trades. If somebody can give me a better example, I'll be happy to listen. Good to have you with us. Paul, by the way, I don't know the date of the college draft because I had to get myself out of that conversation the other day in the text chain. It was too much. I was driving. I muted the conversation. I don't know if there's been more talk or not, but my head was about to explode. So I don't know what the date is. That Scooble deal broke at midnight. Love me an overnight deal done in the back room, packed with cigarettes, smoke over a card table. Well, the picture's vivid, Chris. It probably doesn't work that way anymore. But I get the inference, and I don't think it's. Listen, if he was going to get traded, the Dodgers were always the number one target. Now, whether he stays there more than a couple months is going to be very interesting to see. He's going to hit free agency. And I didn't get a chance to say this morning because I kind of fell out of the conversation. But, and Danny, tell me how the audio is, by the way. I didn't see any problem, but I adjusted one thing. And Jack had brought up that the Tigers should have, extended Scooble a long while ago. Like 4 or 5 years ago, they didn't know who Scooble was. Until 2024, that's when he broke out. He was a 9th-round pick who was a middling prospect until 2024. Now, whether he's going to sign, now, since then, he's won 2 Cy Youngs. And they've had a chance. They didn't have a chance before he became great to really extend him because they didn't know what they had. He's going to hit free agency because Scott Boras takes everybody through the whole process. And he better sign before December 2nd or whatever the date is that the lockout's going to happen. Because if he doesn't get his contract now for 10 years and $400 million or whatever it's going to be, he's not going to get it if the owners have their way. And I got to tell you, if I was the players, I might be rooting for Milwaukee, or I might be rooting for, Minnesota, Chicago, one of these teams that aren't spending a lot of money to win a World Series because the owners' desires are outrageous as far as what the cap would be. And it's not just the cap, it's the cap on contracts, individual contracts. There'll be limits on how far you can extend your own players. Now, those you can extend out a maximum of 12 years, I think, if he's a rookie. But then every year it goes down. And free agents, I think it's 5 years. Your own free agent, 6 years. And there's caps on the dollars. I don't like any of it. I hate it all, by the way. Again, free market should be just that. I do like the fact that there'd be sorry, not a ceiling, but a floor. But again, JB, our Baltimore fan, pointed out to me that if I'm a free marketer, then I wouldn't want a floor either. Teams are entitled to run these teams as crappy as they want. Reds made the playoffs last year and, of course, got beat by I don't know. We don't know who, so they don't. Or what? Yeah, I know you're talking into your phone. Reds are, but at the end of the day, Reds are overrated, and we know that for sure. Yeah, well, there you go. What would we consider this run? 2019 to now, 18 to now. I don't even know. Yeah, the Dodgers did a lot of what the Yankees did when they chased Eric Davis, Darryl Strawberries of the world, right? They didn't put together good chemistry teams. They won with one of the ultimate chemistry teams in 1988. TJ surgery in 2024 or 3. Well, again, a lot of guys have Tommy John surgery. Again, I'm not going to. It could be, again, there's still a great prospect. A lot of prospects, before they ever hit the majors, have had Tommy John surgery. Some of them have it proactively, Paul. So again, I'm not going to. Tommy John surgery is not the death knell to careers that it was at one point. None of these arm injuries are. But again, a lot of these injuries are because of the way that players are dealt with by the programs, by the franchise themselves. They don't let them throw and build up their arms. I'm not going to go through that whole thing again. But again, I don't think I'd put any less stock in this kid than I would anybody who hadn't had an injury, because you just got to get the injury later. That makes sense. So it is 8:15. The time is still, I don't remember the time, but I'll check it out. Whatever it was originally. John, breaking news: the Dodgers get Paul Skeens for some used chewing tobacco. I'll tell you this too, John, by the way. The Yankees are not getting, Mason Miller's not getting traded. They're going to have trouble getting Jeffers, I think, from the Twins now to help that catching. Why the Orioles might trade Rushman, and they're not going to trade him within the division. And he's also got another year of controllability. So I don't see the Orioles trading Rushman. The Orioles did make a small trade in Creamer going to Minnesota. Yankees are going to have trouble filling their holes that they have. They're going to make trades for guys that are going to be, borderline helpful. Yeah, I don't know what the problem was when you heard it. I didn't hear it anywhere else. But whatever. I'm glad we're good. GQ John Gonzalez is in the house. Good to have John with us, obviously. And I mentioned John earlier, the tremendous admin of the sports authorities. Go join today if you haven't. I know a lot of my followers have, and I'm glad that they have. It's not awful for baseball. The problems with baseball are the way baseball's played. It's not salaries. It's not the Dodgers. It's not, again, the Yankees can go out and spend what the Dodgers are spending, John. The problems with baseball and what's awful for baseball is the product on the field. It's the three true outcomes. It's the way pitchers are just taught to go out there and throw gas until their arm blows out, and then we baby them so that they can only pitch 100 or 90 pitches a game. The three true outcomes, as I mentioned, all these ridiculous rule changes that we don't need. That's what's ruining baseball. I agree. So I agree with you. And if there's a lockout strike or lockout and then a strike, and we lose real game. Listen, it is not beyond the realm of possibility that we lose an entire season next year. Owners are locked in. There are owners that are ready for the nuclear option. If you don't think it can happen, go back and look at 1994. Didn't lose a whole season. We lost the World Series. You don't think it can happen? Some of these owners, and I again, free market. I'm a free market guy. If you're not, sorry. If owners are willing to give out dumb contracts Well, that's their business. And some teams like the Dodgers are willing to spend what they have to win. And some owners are willing to just not spend anything and make 100, 200, 300 million a year. Rockies don't try to win. They're one of the most profitable organizations in baseball. Before you get mad at me, John, let me just show you my card over here that I keep with me all the time. Listen, I don't have a monopoly on what's right or wrong. I can tell you what's wrong with baseball is the product on the field, not labor issues. Well, labor issues are a problem. Billionaires fighting billionaires now. And if we lose a whole season, I may be done. I said when we nearly had a strike, and I want to say it was, again, 2004 or 5, I would never watch another baseball game the next time we lost real games. And we almost lost games that year. I might have the year off. But there are owners that are willing to take the nuclear option here and punt the entire season 27. No. Good morning, Matt. Good to have you with us out in Orange County. Toronto newspaper put out a poll for an article. Name your top 10 all-time Blue Jays. Since it's from a newspaper site, I expect some older names. Yeah, because nobody under 40 reads a newspaper. I don't even read a newspaper. At least I read it online. I miss having that paper in front of me. Well, you can give us your top 10, I suppose, Chris. Hello, Carlos. You run the teams as one seems fit with money and they think they have or don't have. I think you're agreeing with me. I'm not sure. You run the teams as one seems fit with money they think or they have or don't have. I think you're agreeing with me. I'm not sure. Well, again, John, you're entitled to that opinion. And again, I'm not even going to say it's not valid because, again, the money is stupid. But you know how we stop it? We stop going to games and stop watching them. That'll never happen. That's the only way the prices come down. The owners can't do it. The owners want to control their own inability to control their impulses, their worst impulses. I don't think any player is overpaid when somebody's willing to pay you. I'm not saying they go out and earn their money. Kyle Tucker's not out there earning his money. But if some dumbass is willing to give me $50 million a year, well, I'll take it. They can control themselves, but then when they control themselves, we have the collusion charges. Product on the field is the problem. Forget about the money. The money's always going to be there. Always. Yeah, would you say no, Billy? Good morning, Billy. Good to have you with us. You wouldn't say no. Nobody would say no. And again, you're going to say, well, they're not worth it. Well, they are because somebody's willing to pay them. I was always worth what somebody was willing to pay me. Wasn't $139,000 a day. But nobody's coming out to watch me. Now, if those people stop coming out to watch me, guess what happens? The prices go down. And by the way, here's the other thing. Without a floor, if teams run themselves out of business, and the problem is the teams that aren't spending money, people worry about caps. How about floors? If those teams were to spend themselves out of business, again, baseball could use retraction is what it could use. There's too many teams. Every sport has too many teams. If you eliminated 2 teams, 4 teams, you'd have less jobs, which guess what happens? The salaries come down. Free market. Free market drives the price. Free market drives the price of baseball salaries, gas, eggs, ground beef, cruises, cars. No different than anything else. Can't agree, Neil. Can't agree. Manfred is bad for baseball, yeah. He's bad for the product that's being put out on the field because he's overseen all these ridiculous rule changes that we've had to look at. Nobody's got a problem with that, but we got a problem with what guys make. I'm never going to be comfortable living in anywhere where we put a cap on what people can earn. It's not capitalism. Something else. Once I saw the Dodgers got Skubal, I wasn't shocked. Will New York make any deals? Yeah, New York will make deals. You'll see about 4 relief pitchers come in here in the next 2 days. Probably a catcher who's not that good. And a right-hand hitting outfielder. I think Luke Weaver is going to be the biggest name maybe that makes his way back to the Bronx. Again, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, man. If you're willing, if you've got the collateral, I don't know why that's bad for baseball. When you build up your organization as much as they have, as well as they have, and I got to sit here and defend the Dodgers for 2 hours. You've run your organization so well. You've built up your minor league so well that you can continue to give up all these prospects year after year after year. You've run your organization so that you've got billions to spend on the Otanis and the Yamamotos and the Tuckers. I'm not going to tell you Kyle Tucker wasn't worth the money they paid him because they thought he was. He's not earning it. 2 different things. Chris has got a pack of 91 Dunross coming in the mail. The Jose Canseco autographed elite card is still out there. Matt is a card collector, if you didn't know. Here's today's card from Matt. See, I like to pull a random card. Ooh, look at this one. Bobby Richardson. Can't see it too good because of the plastic it's in. Great card. Bobby Richardson. Underrated Yankee. Thank you again, Matt. So far, I don't think it'll change, but it could be good. Let's go with that for right now. Okay, that's good for me. I think you're talking about the draft. 91 Dunross, cool old school pack, Canseco. You had 68 this morning. I'm going to assume you think that's cold. It's been so muggy here for a week. I've been sick since a week ago Thursday. I can't get rid of it. Got to have air conditioning on. Ugh. Hate it. Well, first of all, I mean, they're not getting either one of the 2 guys you just mentioned. So, again, you can hate the Dodgers, but to come up with Mason Miller's not getting traded. Paul Skeens isn't getting traded. And what if it's a 2-month rental? I don't know. To me, if the Yankees did the same thing, you wouldn't have a problem, though, would you, John? Maybe you would. I hope you'd be honest and tell me you would or wouldn't. I wouldn't have a problem whoever got him. The Brewers were all in on him. Why didn't the Brewers get him? They didn't have the prospects. The way the world works, man. I don't know what to tell you. Well, John seems to be very bitter about the Dodgers. which is his right. You know, I'm going to tell you the Dodgers are not ruining baseball. The teams that don't try to win are the teams that are ruining baseball. You want me to tell you who's ruining baseball? I'll tell you who's ruining baseball. MLB revenues. I'll tell you who's ruining baseball. Here we go. Miami, $86 million payroll. The White Sox, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Milwaukee. All the teams at the top, well, except for Toronto, are doing well. All the teams who aren't spending money are not. These teams don't try to win. The Royals, do they really try to win? No. Baltimore, I don't think they really try to win, quite frankly. The Giants, maybe they try to win. They do it very badly. Minnesota, well, they're going all in this year. Colorado, Oakland. Pittsburgh, maybe they're turning their corner. The White Sox, the Miami. These teams don't try to win. That's what's ruining baseball. Spend your money. You know, the floor that has been put in, suggested by the owners, 16 teams are below it already. Half the league. Kevin Guzman will get traded. Probably to, it could be a Phillies. Phillies would be a logical destination. Maybe the Braves, who have some pitching issues right now. But I think Kevin Gausman definitely gets traded. He's got an expiring contract. Gausman, I guess, could go to the Orioles. They've unloaded starting pitcher already. He's got an expiring contract, so they wouldn't be. The Orioles don't care about winning, so they might do it here, or signing guys. Well, they signed Pete Alonso. Maybe I'm too hard on Baltimore. I'm not sold, as you know. I'm not sold on Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward's got some pop. Taylor Ward strikes out a lot. He hasn't had a lot of pop this year either. And he's going to Yankee Stadium, which is not the best place for right-handed power hitters. That said, the Yankees need a right-handed bat. Taylor Ward, if the Orioles were going to trade within a division, which I don't see him doing, Taylor Ward might be a guy. Yes, thank you. Commissioner. Nolan Ryan, when he ran the Texas Rangers, and now it's like 20 years ago or more, was trying to right what Major League Baseball was doing wrong as far as the way they handle pitchers. Almost every organization. Nolan Ryan was, and Tom House, I think, was his right-hand man when it came to pitching. The mindset was they need to pitch. They need to throw on off days. They need to throw more, not less. But Nolan Ryan didn't last long enough running the Rangers. The difference in ages, the number one pick, right, is neck and neck with Dave, Steve, and Roy Halladay. Oh, as far as the best Blue Jays of all time? I'd have to take Halladay over Steve only because of his big game prowess. I got to tell you, one of the best Roy Halladay stories, I'll tell you right now, because I watched this game. Late in his career, I think it was late in his career, well, during his career with the Blue Jays, they were playing the Yankees and Johnny Damon in the old Yankee Stadium. I think it was the old Yankee Stadium, pretty sure. Johnny Damon hit what looked like a pop fly to right field, and it got just in the corner by the foul pole. And they cut to, and Halladay's watching it, and they had a camera on him the whole way. And the ball lands, and he turns around, and you see him going, this effing place. My favorite Roy Halladay moment. I don't know what that is. Oh, what that Otani, the card went for $11 million. We worry about what players make. How about what cards are getting sold for? We don't have any problem with that. Oh my God. It is almost football season. I don't have a lot of Patriots. I got to get some more stuff in the back here. I had a lot of stuff. Some of it you can't see. So I do have a couple of Patriot things right there and behind my head most of the time. And there's a couple over, a little bit over there. We'll get some more stuff up. Some of my Patriot stuff got ruined in a flood one time, so I lost a bunch of stuff. You can't? Why not? So when the Dodgers lose this year, what's your reason going to be? John, you have to realize that there are other opinions in the world, right? I mean, I appreciate your opinion. I'm not saying you're right, wrong, or indifferent. Again, I don't have a monopoly on what's right or wrong. My opinion is my opinion, and it's not going to change just because you yell at me, tell me to stop drinking. I always have very strong opinions, and they're not going to change. And my opinions about baseball are always going to be the same. The problem with baseball is not who's making money and that one team controls everything. First of all, you have to spend that money well. If you don't spend that money well, you don't win. If you don't put a team together with some chemistry, you don't win. We can agree to disagree, John. I just don't want them to get a three-peat. Listen, I don't want the Dodgers to win either. Do I think a three-peat is bad for baseball? No, I think it's a great story. Why wouldn't a three-peat be a great story? Did anybody want to break up the Oakland A's when they won 3 in a row? Did anybody want to break up the Yankees when they won 3 in a row in the 90s? I heard this crap about the Yankees. You know, that's the whole thing, too, that really irritates me a little bit. As a Yankee fan, I heard the same crap. This is why I defend the Dodgers. I heard the same crap about the Yankees for 2 decades. Actually, more than that. If you can't afford to spend money with teams, don't buy a Major League Baseball team. How about that? Why is it bad for baseball? Attendance is better than it's ever been. Parity. You got parity everywhere else in baseball except for the Dodgers. And the Dodgers don't even have the best record in baseball, by the way. I'll just point out. The Brewers do. And by the way, the owners created the mess that now they want somebody else to fix for them. And the players, again, what are they supposed to do? Not take the money? Don't you, John, don't you want to make as much as you can make? You want to be, I mean, would you like that to be the case? Why should sports be different than anywhere else in the country where you can earn whatever somebody's willing to pay you? And I get it, you know. Teachers are underpaid. Not all of them, by the way. You should know some of the ones I know. They're way overpaid for the work they do. Can't wait to get out of the classroom. What am I watching here? Sorry, I got distracted. And when the Yankees were accused of the same thing, Did we speak up then? In the mid-90s, the Dodgers farm raised 4 draft picks 4 years in a row. Eric Karros, Raul Mondesi, Todd Hollingsworth, Billy Ashley. Only one of those guys really had a decent... Well, Karros had a good career, and so did Mondesi. The Dodgers have always had a great farm system. And by the way, how is it the Dodgers' fault if Rivers is such a bad prospect at 28 years old? And I don't know that he's 20 years old or not. I guess he is. That's only one of the prospects, by the way. He's 28. It's fair. Tigers didn't have to take that trade. They could have taken whatever the Brewers offered. Are the Tigers colluding with the Dodgers and just giving them away for bad prospects because they want the Dodgers to win? That makes no sense. Cross-eyed Mary, Thin Lizzy. See. Well, the word prospect is actually not overrated. It's actually perfect. Prospect is a prospect for a reason. He hasn't done anything. It's actually the perfect word. Now, people overrate prospects. Again, Brian Cashman, as much as I get on Brian Cashman, he hasn't traded any good prospects for anyone. He hasn't got made a lot of great trades either. I get it, but at least he hasn't given away a lot of bad. He hasn't traded a lot of good prospects. Let's put it that way. Here's some of the guys they've traded. They did trade Caleb Durbin, who's a decent player. Garrett Whitlock, Josh Smith, Trevor Hauer. Now, back in the day, they traded a lot of guys. Brian Cashman's been very good about not trading really good prospects. Yeah. Even then, though, and again, I think these teams should spend money if they want to win, but too many teams don't care about winning. Just don't care. And again, if I want to be true to my free market mentality, then they should be able to run their team as crappy as they want to and spend as little. But they make money. That's the problem. First of all, the Dodgers didn't create the deferred contract, by the way. The Mets, deferred contracts have been part of baseball for a long time. Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid, John. Brett Saberhagen still getting paid by the Mets. I'm sure there's a gazillion other guys we can come up with that weren't Dodgers in the last 5 years. I don't know if I can find anything or not. I want to come up with some more names. I can't come up with any off the top of my head other than Bobby Bonilla and Brett Saberhagen, who are still getting paid decades later. I don't think I can find what I want because obviously all I got were the Dodgers. Now, have the Dodgers taken it and run with it? Yep. Max Scherzer by the Nationals, $105 million deferred. Bobby Bonilla still getting paid. Steven Strasburg, $80 million in deferred money when he signed for $245. Chris Davis with the Orioles, $42 million. Bruce Sutter back in 1984. was getting paid on that contract through 2022. Again, the Dodgers have taken that and run with it, but the Dodgers didn't create it. Too much hyperbole. Have they taken it and taken it to another level? 100%. Change the rule. Fine, I'm okay you did away with deferred contracts. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Guys still would get paid their money. So I'm not gonna die on the hill of deferred contracts. But and I hate being here having to defend the Dodgers. The Dodgers didn't create anything. Bruce Sutter signed a contract in 1984. Saberhagen and Bonilla signed contracts in the 90s with the Mets that are still getting paid for today. Ted Williams signed a contract that had money deferred in it in the 50s. Catfish Hunter. Deferred payments. Charlie Finley missed some of those deferred payments. That's how he became a Yankee. Sparky Lyle, Bruce Sutter, Jim Rice. Just saying. Everyone should get what they can. Why do players need? Well, again, you're saying two different things. Everybody should get what they can. Then you say, why do players need $30 or $40 million a year? Because somebody's willing to give it to them, Matt. I understand why people are pissed. Stop watching. Why would Major League Baseball care where he went? I don't think they care. We need a cross-eyed Mary Poppins to play. Cross-eyed Mary Poppins. I don't know that. You're telling me it's fixed? I don't know what you're telling me, John. What are you telling me? First, you're telling me the Dodgers are creating things they didn't create. Now you're telling me that what? The Tigers wanted to give up Skubal for less than what they could get. You got to tell me how that makes any sense. If there were better offers, why didn't they take them? Tell me why. What are you exactly saying? That the Tigers are colluding with the Dodgers? That Major League Baseball told the Tigers where to send Skubal? I'd stop watching too if I thought that was the case. Watching a game for 1990. Junior Felix was in it. Toronto sports writer Mike Wilner often called him the oldest 21-year player. Did he sometimes call himself Felix Jr. too? I'm not joining any bandwagons, John. I'm not rooting for the Dodgers to do anything. I'm telling you they aren't ruining baseball. They are doing anything that hasn't been done for decades. They've just taken it to another level. I'm telling you that Major League Baseball is not colluding to let the Dodgers win. So that's your argument now is to call me a Dodger fan, a closet Dodger fan. I'm not a Dodger fan. Never going to be a Dodger fan. If the Dodgers get to the World Series, I won't be rooting for them. I will tell you that them winning 3 in a row is not a horrible story for Major League Baseball. I'll tell you also that Major League Baseball is not going to collude to make that happen. I love these arguments. I just enjoy. Maybe I just enjoy arguing. I don't know. Let's face it. Not always a team. Yes, 100%. Yankees were that team for decades. They won one World Series in freaking 25 years. Why was the argument not there then? Because they were winning. Because they didn't spend their money well. They got pushed to 7 games by the Blue Jays last year. They were down 2-1 to the Padres in the playoffs in 24, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Danny, you're making it sound like they run roughshod over baseball. They don't. The Brewers have the best record in baseball. Right? We can talk football all you want. Baseball died last night. Yeah, the baseball died last night. Baseball died when they went to 6 divisions and 18 wild cards. Not because of what people are making. People will bitch and moan forever. They won't stop watching. If they stopped watching, the money wouldn't be there to pay these guys. Simple. I'm just using common sense. There's no giant conspiracy to make the Dodgers win. You guys, same guys who hated the Patriots for 20 years. Billy, 780 active players in Major League Baseball. MLB brings in 11 billion. Lots of money to go around. Thank you, Billy. That's all I'm saying. Why would you put a cap on what people can earn? It's a slippery slope. Might get put on you. I can't get put on me. I don't work anymore. I don't care. You people that go out and work and earn an honest living, you want somebody to tell you, yeah, you know what? You can make this, but no more. I don't care how good you do your job. I can't afford to pay. I can't pay any more than this. Not afford. I'm not allowed to pay you any more than this. Why? The Brewers winning the World Series would be a great story for baseball. It'd be a great story for small markets. Major League Baseball doesn't care if the Dodgers win. Major League Baseball can market the Dodgers whether they win or they don't win. They didn't win for freaking 3 decades. 3 decades. They didn't win. Major League Baseball wasn't hurting for that. The Yankees have won 1 World Series in 25 years. Am I right? 30. No, 25. More than 25, actually. 26. We wouldn't be even having this conversation if it was the Yankees on the other end of this and not the Dodgers. That's a Yankee fan telling you that. If it's the Dodgers and the Red Sox in the World Series, I'm not rooting for anybody, Danny. I'll watch it and hope for good games. I might even skip it. I don't know. No, I don't skip it. I wouldn't skip it, but I'll just, again, I didn't root for anybody last year. I didn't root for the Blue Jays. I didn't root for the Dodgers. I root for my team. Or if I have money in a game, I root for that. I'll root for a good series. That's what I'll root for. I only root for the Yankees. I root for the Yankees, the Patriots, the Knicks, the Rangers. The rest of the teams I root for, I have money on. I'm not Jack Hirsch. Bruce Suter's 6-year, $9 million contract. Over time, it ended up being worth $50 million with interest. How crazy can you imagine Ohtani's contract? Again, it's all relative to the time we're talking about. Again, the Dodgers didn't invent deferred contracts. I went back to 84, then I looked a little further. Ted Williams was getting it in the 50s, was getting deferred money. It's a birthday. Who's Tony Almonte? Happy birthday, Almonte. 56 years old today. That's not common sense. I mean, how is that? I'm using common sense. You can tell me the owners have ruined baseball, and again, to quote Neil Bush, that Rob Manfred has ruined baseball. They've ruined it with the rule changes they've made. They've ruined it with the way they play the game and teach the game. That's ruined baseball. The eye test tells me what's ruined baseball. Money's been growing and growing and growing for decades. The money's always been relative to the relevant or relative and relevant to the time we're talking about. Because guess what? In the 70s, when guys started getting $1 million contracts over 5 years, that was outrageous. And as it's grown, it's only been relative to the cost of life going up. People make more money now. People spend more money now. The cost of everything goes up, including sports. And if you want it to change, you have to stop watching it. Stop consuming it. You want gas to go down? Stop consuming it. Stop driving everywhere when you can take a bus. Again, I'm just using examples. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm not doing it. Nobody's doing it. Right? You want the prices in restaurants to go down? Stop going to them. Demand drives price. That's the way it works. This isn't difficult. You want something else, and you want a different economic system than the one you live in. I'm not willing to do that. Yeah. I saw something about Danny Almonte recently. Actually, you know who joined? Who was the girl pitcher? The young girl who pitched in the College World Series. Danny, a few years back. She's pitching for the Bananas now. Can't think of her name. The Dodgers win all those jerseys, hats, etc. More Dodgers fans out there. Big money maker from MLB. They're going to sell Dodgers gear no matter what. Again, I agree with your premise to a certain point, Matt. But again, like every other sport, I'm going to tell you, no league really is rooting for one team or another to win. Do they want the Dodgers to be relevant? Do they want the Yankees to be relevant and competitive? Yes. 100% they do. Do they manipulate things so those teams win? No. Doesn't happen in the NFL. Again, the people who are going to tell me that the NFL's fixed, stop watching it. Please. I'd rather you stop watching it than come at me with all these ridiculous conspiracy theories. Now, maybe someday I'll be proved wrong. I don't think so. Thank you, Billy. Again, because the Dodgers are on a good run now and have found a loophole in a system that has been in place for decades. They're the evil empire. I remember when I was the evil empire. And I had to fend off people complaining that we were ruining baseball. George Steinbrenner was ruining baseball. No, he wasn't. No more than the Dodgers are ruining it now. Just stop. John, there's a better chance I'm going to get one of these jerseys, and there's no chance of that, than I'm going to get a Dodger jersey. I have Yankee jerseys and Patriot jerseys in my closet. That's it. There are Yankee hats and Patriot hats here, and Miami Hurricane hats, which I know you'll agree with. One thing I can get you to agree with me on. Oh, the Yankees too. I love it, the fact that you can't defend. I can't defend anything without being a a fan, a bandwagon jumper of that team. I could care less what happens to the Dodgers. I hope the Dodgers lose every game they play from now till the end of the season. It's got nothing to do with the argument I'm making right now. Because I can look at things realistically. Because my team didn't get Scooble, I'm not going to cry. They're bad for baseball. Thank you, Billy. 27-14. Well, listen, I listened for decades about the Yankees were ruining baseball. It's the same argument that I listened to from 1977, even when they stunk in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. They weren't winning anything, and people thought they were bad for baseball. 100%. I must have said something about Jack. I don't know what that's for. I would guess Hernandez would have been up there. Alcantara is a really good pitcher. Could get traded the next couple days. I don't think he will. Maybe he'll go to the Dodgers. Kidding. Thank you, Danny. You're gonna wish your wish your rating's gonna drop like a rock. Why would anyone want to watch anymore when you know the inevitable outcome? It's not a three-peat. It will last for a decade. It doesn't last for a decade. The Yankees, was it bad for baseball when the Yankees were won 9 out of 10 years or whatever in the 40s and 50s? The same arguments were likely happening then, John. Was it bad for baseball? No, it wasn't. Baseball seems to have done okay. Again, I'm going to keep telling you, if baseball ratings go down, which is entirely possible, it's going to be because of the product on the field. That sucks. So we're not on the wrong, we're on similar, we're in the same book, we're on different pages. Baseball will suffer over the next decade because of the way it's played, not because of what's happening off the field. Well, I shouldn't say that. Labor issues will cause disinterest. This isn't going to cause people to stop watching. And it's not my wish. Stop with the wishing. I didn't wish anything. I just said to you, if people stop watching and stop going to games, some teams will fail. I'm okay if we retract 4 teams. There's too many teams. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say I wish the ratings go down. I think they will. I don't disagree with you. I think for different reasons. YouTube. Thank you, Chris. Who's that? Oh, Olivia. No, that's not. Is that her? Is that her name? Girl pitcher on bananas. What's her name? Kelsey Whitmore. Nah, that's not her. There's another girl just made her debut. That's not the name I'm thinking of either. Hold on. Monet Davis. Monet Davis, that's who I'm thinking of. I think she played for the, I thought I heard she played for the Bananas. Maybe I'm wrong. Could have swore I heard this the other day. Let me copy that. Put that in there. Let me get some news on Monet Davis. I think she pitched recently for the Bananas. You know, we're all worried. Here we are arguing for 2 hours about the Dodgers are spending all this money and ruining baseball, but not a peep, except from Danny, about the wonderful Sophie Cunningham and her attitude and how this frickin'. When I talk about common sense, she speaks common sense and everybody shoots her down and boos her. And guarantee you most of this country is behind her. Oh, I guess she pitched in a women's pro baseball league. That's where I heard it. I thought she pitched for the Bananas. My bad. I'm not infallible. Where did I leave off here? I lost my... This is America. I like my big gasoline guzzling pickup truck, my overpriced obesity-filled fast food, and my 10 shotguns. Yeah, but we can't have teams monopolizing all the great players. Well, that would happen if you went to the Yankees too, Matt. It would happen if you went. It would happen wherever he went. I know very little about River Ryan. He could be very good or very bad. He gets hurt a lot. Whatever. Again, what are you telling me? Spell it out, John. You haven't done that. You keep berating the trade and berating the Dodgers, but tell me exactly that you think the Tigers and the Major League Baseball are colluding to get Skubal to the Dodgers. Say it, please. Don't keep throwing River Ryan's name out there. I could care less. I know the Brewers put together a very good package. I don't know what it was. All these prospects, you can't tell me that if you compared prospects from 4 different teams, you can tell me which ones are going to be great. Great move for the Dodgers, yeah. Hello, Carlton. Good to have you with us. Ken from Flo and Ken on Bottom Line Sports. I'm doing well. How you doing, Ken? Well, I'm getting ready for preseason football, but we're doing a lot of arguing about baseball right now and how the Dodgers are ruining the sport. I'm not saying that. Others are. Sure he is. It's a good move for L.A., according to others, which we've probably just riled up again now, Ken. It's bad for baseball. It's ruined. The game died yesterday. The game didn't die when we canceled the World Series in 1994. Did Jabba pitch for the Bananas? Really? There's a blast from the past. Jabba Chamberlain. John's happy for Danny. Congratulations, but soon the Dodgers won't have any opponents left. They won't. So the Dodgers will be the last team standing in Major League Baseball. I'm not saying, and by the way, John, you might be absolutely right about ratings and people, and because the progressive part of this country is leaning towards limiting what everybody can make and own. So you're right. Sports may very well die a slow, painful death here if some people have their way. And I would think that the owners will play on that as they try to put in the salary. And by the way, remember, it's not just a total salary cap that the owners are looking for. It's not $273 million. That's the end of the story. Do it whatever you want. You can pay one guy $250 million and the rest of them, 21. That's not going to. They want to limit individual contracts. Number of years, number of dollars. There's other countries I could think of that would want to, and then what are they going to do then? They're going to say the owners are making too much money. Yeah, Trevor Bauer is not coming back, Chris. That was very funny, though, the message you sent me last night about Luke Voigt. I had to laugh. I'm using New York as an example. Obviously, they weren't going to trade for Skubal. They don't need Skubal. But if they got Skubal, they could have put one of the starters in the bullpen. But I'm just saying. I was only using that as an example of if he had come to New York, we'd be having the same argument about the Yankees. Other people would be. Not this group. I'm not sticking up for baseball at all. Major League Baseball has ruined the game on the field. I see no reason to stick up for baseball. I love baseball. Baseball is my number one love in sports. I still have a glove and ball and bat in my trunk that rides around with me always since I've been driving a car. 16 years old. I'm 66 years old. I didn't ruin baseball. I'm berating baseball because of what it's become on the field. Most nights it's freaking unwatchable. But I've stuck it out because I'm a fan. And we're worried about we're so worried about the money that's being paid to the athletes. We don't worry about how the athletes perform on the field. Not even baseball. He is calling the Giants idiots. Actually, not calling the Giants idiots. Well, he is calling the Giants Tigers idiots. But he's also, I believe, because he's not spelling it out for me, claiming the Tigers and Major League Baseball are colluding to make Skubal a Dodger. Because he couldn't be a Dodger unless somebody agreed to trade him there. You haven't told me. Go find, and please, John, you can feel free to send me this later, I guess. Send me all the offers that were better. And when we're talking about minor league prospects, you tell me how we're going to determine which ones are the best ones. This argument won't be determined. Your side of this argument is not going to be determined for years. Because what if River Ryan, what's his name? River, whatever his freaking name is. He's 28 years old. I get it. Could be a late bloomer. I don't know. When did Skubal bloom? How old is Skubal? I have him here somewhere. He's 29 years old. So you're talking about Rivers. You know when Skubal pitched, started his ascent to the top of Major League Baseball? He was 27. He was a 9th round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't very good in 2000, 20, 21, 22. Started to pitch better in 23. Didn't break out until 24. He was 27 years old. So a 28-year-old prospect could never do any good. You don't know. There's no way to know till years later which group of prospects would be better or worse. Boy, I knew you talk a lot of baseball today, but I didn't think I'd spend 2 hours defending the Dodgers when I hate the Dodgers. Tiger Woods cleared to return to golf. 15 minutes are up, Chris. Danny, I would have liked you to be a little more vocal in your defense of my comments today. John Gonzalez, in all fairness, if the Dodgers don't win this year, they're the laughing stock of baseball in some eyes. So they built up expectations with last night's pickup. Again, I know he's speaking here, so I have to figure out where the punctuation goes. No doubt. I seriously doubt if they could win 3 in a row for now. Not being cockily, I seriously doubt they can't. Seriously doubt they can't win 3 in a row. But still got to be played on the field. Again, yes. The Mets in 1993 spent the most money of any team in baseball. They lost 100 games. The Mets now, horribly put together team. Again, it isn't just about money. Yeah, I don't listen. I haven't. You can talk about anything you want here, John. I haven't. I've gone and addressed every comment that comes up here. I haven't carried this kind of conversation on for an hour and a half. Baseball was deferred last night. That's a pretty funny line, actually. There's a problem. Brett Butler could run, and Luke Voigt runs like I do at 66 years old. See, you want to talk football, but you keep throwing this stuff at me, and that's not going to happen. So you've given me three ridiculous comments that do not do anything to enhance your argument, because those three things aren't happening. Artie Moreno, he's not ruining baseball. The guys who are trying to win are ruining baseball. I get it. But Artie Moreno, who says fans, I never heard you say one irate thing about Artie Moreno, who says fans don't care about winning. They don't care. That's not even in the top 5 priorities they have when it comes to rooting for a team. Artie Moreno is ruining baseball. Thank you. If I left the Angels, I might have left the Angels out of my diatribe last an hour ago, whatever it was. I will argue that Artie Moreno is worse for baseball than the people that own the Dodgers. He's on a mission. This goes back to when this is very similar to the tirade I sent him on with Joe Namath. He's 28. Well, now he's gone from 28 to almost 30. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's anything. I'm just telling you, there's nothing that says he can't all of a sudden become a very good pitcher. Tyreek Skubal became a really good pitcher at 27. 1 year younger than River Ryan, not 3. Now he's almost 30. Well, then I'm almost 70. God, man. In all fairness, Detroit got nothing. Listen, I'm not saying they did. This isn't about me saying this is a great trade. I have no idea. I'm not surprised that the Brewers or even the Mariners wouldn't. Maybe they would, but how do we know? Again, thank you, Danny, for defending me. I'm sitting here defending your team for 2 hours for some reason. I have no idea. It wasn't on my bingo card to spend 2 hours talking about Tariq Skubal and the Dodgers today. Whatever the Brewers, if it was all minor leaguers, which it would have been, we wouldn't know any more than we know today. You couldn't look at these 3 guys against these 3 guys against these 3 guys and be with any accuracy be able to tell me that's the best 3. That will be the best 3. It's all a crapshoot because of the word prospect. Maybe they could have done better. Schwartz has a clear winner this year. John, we gotta put a trophy together, Danny. It's a very prestigious award, by the way. We don't give it to just anybody. We almost retired it in Billy Pulver's name. I think the reason John is going the route that he is because some analysts believe the Tigers got a late return, which was odd to them. I get it. I get it. I don't think it would have mattered who they gave up. We'd be having the same conversation today. If they gave up the three best prospects they have, we'd be having the same conversation. So it's the Tigers' job. The Tigers aren't entitled to run their organization as in whatever shit way they think, excuse my French, is good for them. We've seen worse trades than this. Yankees traded Jay Bruner for Phelps. Skubal should have gone to Milwaukee, given them a chance to win in October. So we should make trades now based on who should win, who we want to win. Major League Baseball should have. I'm telling you, they don't care if they didn't manipulate this so the Dodgers get Skubal. I'm going to tell you, they wouldn't do it for any team. How would that make your argument better and make it? Let's not forget the White Sox could win the whole show. Randall Grichuk and his White Sox. Didn't Randall Grichuk get cut by the Yankees this spring? First of all, the White Sox aren't beating the Dodgers, the Braves, or the Brewers. That could get out of the American League, I suppose. This is the earliest we've had this wrapped up. Well, first of all, he doesn't allow it all to happen. I don't know why we're not more. Why don't we get more outraged at Rob Manfred when he allows stupid rules to be pushed through? We don't need. And Art Moreno does suck, and he's a bigger danger to baseball than the Dodger owners. And Rob Manfred is a danger to baseball, not because of this, because of a lot of stuff on the field. He's responsible for the way the game is played. No, I shouldn't say that. The organizations themselves are responsible for the way the game is played, including the Dodgers. I'm not even worked up today. Not even worked up. Passionate about what I believe, just like John is. It's fine. This is what this show's for. I'm going to sit here and agree with people. I will tell you I agree. I'm not going to argue just for the sake of arguing. Neither is John. I know John believes very strongly in what he thinks. Thanks, John. That only enhances your chances. Don't be offended, John. It's a very prestigious award on the show. And again, they're not the only ones, John. There's a lot of teams, or Brian, there's a lot of teams being run into the ground. My own organization is not being run very well these days. How would you like, you're a Tiger fan, how would you like to be spending the money the Mets are spending and get that result? So it's not, again, as Danny said, it's not all about the money you spend, it's how you spend it. The Dodgers have done that very well. What was that? Who's a keeper? Did I miss somebody? Did somebody post something I didn't see? Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Strikeouts. We don't care about strikeouts. We don't care about pitchers pitching no hitters and perfect games. That's all. That's not ruining baseball. The fact that we take away the chance for history from young pitchers because we can't let them throw more than 90 pitches or 77 pitches in some cases. What am I up to today? We could have some beer. It's going to rain here today, so it's going to be hard to grill. We've had some bad weather on weekends recently. Still trying to get over this cold too. So, and my diet has been muted because I have a colonoscopy coming up in a few days. So we've had to start a bland diet here the last few days, and it gets more bland as the week goes on. We'll be back on Wednesday night with the college football huddle. We'll talk Miami Hurricanes, one place I know John and I can agree, at 7 o'clock Eastern. It should be interesting, as I will be in the middle of my colonoscopy prep. So it could be could be an interesting show. I believe. Listen, I'm not meeting. If John said to me, because I only fight with I only fight with like really old ladies and very young children. I want a chance to win. If John were to get mad enough at me to invite me down to New York City, I'm not showing up. I'm just saying. I love you, John. You are the best. You run a great, the best group on social media, and my opinions will never change based on these little disagreements that we have, because I have fun with them. As worked up as I might seem to get, these are the reasons I do this show, because I have fun with these disagreements and having fun. You guys are all entitled. I told you so many times that I go by the Billy Packer axiom of I'm sometimes wrong, but never in doubt. And my good friend John Gonzalez, I'd like to see a few more laughy faces and hear John just make me feel more at ease. But I enjoy these. I enjoy these back and forth immensely. So is my wife, probably upstairs wondering what the hell is going on down there today. Billy, Happy Nuts is the real hitch powder. Isn't Happy Nuts what Tip was selling for a while? Maybe still is. Where is Tip? We might be live. We might. My wife said we should. I might have to do it from the bathroom and just have the camera like from, put up the fake background back up. Might have to mute myself now and again. Amazing. There's been 12 complete games this year. Still nothing. It's 12. I didn't even know there's that many. We've also had at least 3 pitchers cheated out of chances at perfect games. I love you, John. I didn't get on these shows to sing Kumbaya for hours at a rip. We have a lot of fun. And that's why sports is fun, right? It's a little different in politics because we can argue without hating each other. I still feel it's kind of sad that we've lost, at least by my count, a dozen people who were solid viewers based on I was going to say perceived politics, put it that way. But it is what it is. I'm not changing the way I think to appease people either. That's not what I do. People stay. That's great. We love you guys. We want you here. We want you to participate. We have a lot of fun with it. And we can agree to disagree. Do it a lot in life. Who didn't say hi this morning? Vinny. Hi, Vinny. How are you, buddy? Vinny, Reggie, Vincent, how you guys doing today? Next time you come in, feel free to participate. Don't come in and think, man, I'm not getting in the middle of that. Because when you're here, you can change the subject. That's a great thing about Sundays. is it's the stream of consciousness. The stream of consciousness went down with tunnel vision today, but we can talk about whatever you want. So guys, come back on another Sunday and change the topic if you don't like what we're talking about. Or just be careful how you do it. You're driving around listening today? I don't mean you, Paul. You said hello and stuff, but we have a lot of guys. It's fine. If you want to just come and listen, that's great too. We have a lot of people that do that, and it's certainly acceptable. But you guys help drive the show. So I want other people to come in, and if they have a different point of view or the same point of view or want to tell me how wrong I am, which is certainly acceptable. I do want to give, it's been a fun discussion. It's been an interesting one for sure. Listen, I knew we'd talk about the Dodgers today. As soon as he got traded to the Dodgers, I knew this would happen. It is what it is, as John said. The Dodgers received more talk today than the ABS. But we didn't even talk about ABS. I didn't even bring it up. Even when I was talking about rule changes, I did not specifically single out ABS because it's not the worst thing we've had to deal with, by the way, when it comes to rules changes. So again, another program. No, Jack and I will not be live tomorrow morning. We'll be live on Tuesday morning. I do have a doctor's appointment that I can't reschedule for months. That I thought I'd scheduled on a Tuesday and I scheduled on a Monday. So I've got that. We'll be live Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. and it'll be good because the complete trade deadline will be completed by then. That was a bit redundant, wasn't it? So we'll be on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Wednesday, I'll be on with the professional sports show crew on the McGrath Podcast Network at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be back with the College Football Huddle at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And, of course, Jack and I will be back on Friday at 8 a.m. And also we'll have the Major League Baseball update Friday afternoon. What else is going on in the world of Keith? One more quick shout out. Was there anything that important? Well, we only got 5 minutes, but we talked about most of the stuff I wanted to talk about. I got to tell you, a couple of things I want to reiterate. Tony Romo, done at CBS. There's no way he's coming back from this, especially given his performances in recent years. And I liked Tony Romo at the beginning of his broadcast career. The very first year, I thought he was insightful, and I thought it was a breath of fresh air. And then he just smothered and sucked all the air out of that room in years that followed. And since he got this big contract, it's been just downhill for Romo, I think, performance-wise. And I'm beginning to wonder if there isn't a reason for that downturn in his performance. I'm concerned about Tony Romo. As many jokes as I made about Romo, I am concerned about his well-being, so hopefully he's okay. And again, kudos to Sophie Cunningham. You get the Common Sense Award this week. And all those people that are protesting you and the WNBA who doesn't seem to want to stick up for you, or the fans who are defending you, because you did not say anything negative about trans people. You only said that biological men should not be playing basketball against women. Kudos to you. Thank you, Danny, for getting here, and I'm glad you're feeling better and out of the hospital. And take care of yourself, buddy. I got to take care of myself. I cannot get rid of this little bronchitis thing I got. I was feeling better, and then last night was just a sleepless night, coughing away. So, yeah, we're almost got to get his head on straight, man. Forget about the Bucks and figure it out. Billy Ray Smith, I mentioned earlier, kind of sad. Billy Ray passed away. Our thoughts and prayers go to his family. Fine player with the Chargers back in the day. Struggled with dementia these last few years, so our thoughts and prayers go out to him. And of course, on the same note, Amon Green, a great running back for the Packers all those years, has announced he has Parkinson's. which I think he attributes to his football career. A lot of Parkinson's, a lot of dementia, a lot of ALS among football players these last few decades, and it's a sad reality of the game that they play. These guys do go into the game knowing what the dangers are. It's not like, it's not like somebody's pulling the wool over the eyes and say, put on this helmet and you'll be fine. But it's a sad reality of the game that we love. But you can't legislate violence out of the sport. That's why people watch. So it was a lively show today. Thank you, John and Danny and Matt, Rick, all of those you guys who, I know I'm leaving guys out. I apologize. Paul, anybody who participated today. Concussion is a must watch. You should watch it. Again, I still don't think, I'm not blaming the NFL. I'm not blaming the NFL for any of this stuff. I'm not. These guys make a lot of money. They know the dangers. It's just a sad reality of the game. And, I don't think there's a way to, fix the issue without diametrically changing the game. So it's unfortunate. But guys, we'll catch you on the flip side. It's been a great show. I've had a great time this morning, even though at times it may seem like I didn't. I was having a lot of fun. You guys have a great day, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.